All right. We are starting now. Welcome to the next episode of the Furry Raiders podcast. I am Jolt, chief host of the podcast, and joining me today is my co-host Avira. None other than that.
Hello, everyone. It is me, the Candy Corn Doggo. Hope you're having an awesome day.
Next up on the panel, returning guests, Beowulf.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Working on becoming a master of some, though.
We'll get there slowly, right? One baby step at a time.
Yeah.
And you're next on the line. And as a returning guest, do say hi.
What?
Oh, great. Okay, a little complication. Okay, so that didn't go out well. Shall we introduce our first time guest, Black Limeade? Say hi and just do tell us an interesting fact about yourself.
Well, I'm Limeade, and I write stories for money.
You more hobbyist or basically trying to get into like more self-publishing? That's the way things are heading.
With things going right now, I'm gonna try to get into self-publishing a little bit.
Okay, that sounds great. Other than that, though, shall we start this week? Because there has been a lot on the wire now, and I think we'll kind of start this off with last week's big event, Midwest Furfest 2018.
Whoa!
Now you were there at the con, obviously, right?
Yes.
Line con.
Yeah, line con, corridor con, walking con, yeah. No, water con, you name it.
WaterCon?
No water con. Like that.
Right. Yes.
That was one of the big problems. Was every fursuit lounge was running out of water. Like, not all the time, but occasionally they would just run out of water, and then all the fursuiters would just be like, "We're dying."
Oh, I've been in that situation before. Oh, goodness.
I was lucky enough not to experience that, just for the simple fact I only suited probably 28 hours of the con.
That's not bad, though. That's still quite a bit of time.
Yeah, just a fair bit. You know, there's some people I swear that they never left suiting and they never went to a lounge and they were always suiting, and I'm like, how are you not dead? Either way, yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that went in MFF. Like, well, Corridor Con, always the corridor. You know, the corridor of death, the furnace of death, which was wonderful. You know, the half a mile walkway of death, your death march.
Yeah, I actually had a question for you about that. Well, not the corridor thing, but like any stats from the con, like how many members like were there, how much money was raised.
I didn't attend closing ceremonies, but I think it was. I know they officially broke 10K. I think it might have been like 10,700 or so.
Wow.
And I think it was like $99,000 for charity or something of that magnitude.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
That is
huge.
Do not quote me on the charity. I know the members. I saw 10,700 somewhere.
I mean, they're quite open to releasing their attendance stats even on Twitter.
Yeah, actually, I found out a lot of things about MFF. It's not actually really necessarily run by furries. It's actually run by people who basically host anime conventions.
Oh, grand.
Oh.
So there was a real arcade, like legitimate brought-in arcade games.
What?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there was like 12 arcade games, and the minute that thing opened, everyone was in there, and it was packed.
Wow. So they had like the traditional like Pac-Man and Tetris and Ghost Invaders.
You had a big flat screen one that did Tetris and stuff. You had like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the ones that had like the guns that you could fire at the screen. There was
the
Dance Coaster. There was Dance Dance Revolution and the Japanese knockoff of Dance Dance Revolution. And yeah, there's like the Mortal Kombat. I don't remember all of them because like my whole weekend was like one day and then it was over and I'm like, what happened?
Awesome. Now I don't know if MFF still does this. Do they still do the fursuit parade?
I don't think they can now.
They stopped doing that in I think 2015. They do the fursuit.
They stopped it in 2016. I was there in 2015. They had the parade.
They do a menagerie now where it's just like, we do this color suits at this station, and then they have like 10 photo stations where hundreds of fursuiters pile into the main ballroom and await to get their pictures taken.
Oh, that's kind of fun, isn't it? You just sit there waiting and have the inconvenience of, oh my goodness.
There was more water stations in the menagerie than there was at any fursuit lounge.
Oh, goes to show how well they care about water, hey.
I mean, the menagerie, there was like 6,000 people in a room. It was chaos, but organized chaos to some degree. There was conga lines. That was something that happened. I wasn't a part of it, but I heard that the late night reg line, while everyone was waiting, for their thing, the late night reg line, I think, raised like $200 for charity by doing a conga line.
That's awesome.
You gotta do what you can to keep them occupied, hey.
Yeah, it was... I also heard somewhere that it was quicker if you registered at the door than to wait for your pre-reg.
I mean, eventually I heard they had to move the pre-registration to at the door line.
Oh, they did. Like, they took up an entire section of the convention center to form a zigzag line for the pre-reg.
Oh my goodness.
From that is actually they had a pre-reg line, but they just didn't tell anybody where it was, and then you'd be halfway through the normal line, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, y'all pre-reg, y'all need to go over here."
Yeah, that was another thing, was there was just horrible communication. Like, literally, they just gave you a sign that said you're the end of the line, and once someone got behind you, you're just like, here you go. And then it just became chaos because no one knew what was happening. My roommate, who I had, it took him 3.5 hours to get through reg.
Whoa!
Yeah, and he had pre-regged.
That's the whole point of pre-registration. You're supposed to
be able to go through really fast. It's just like, hey, I'm pre-regged. Here's my receipt. Give me my badge.
Yeah, there you go. Like, oh my goodness.
You want to know what would be even better? Would be even better if they mailed it out.
Yeah,
I would pay an additional $5 for that.
At this attendance level, they really should.
I would legitimately pay an additional $5 for that.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, you can just walk right into the con.
Yeah, walk in with your badge, day one.
Yeah. That could do it.
But, let's see. The notorious Nazi fur ribbons came back.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. One little thing, though. Black, you have the thing to raise the volume a bit on the master controls. But, yeah. Someone can't hear you. I've put you on max, but you can raise it a little higher on the master controls. But, before we get to the ribbons, though, I'm going to screen share this thing because the convention actually sponsored these ones, too. These pronoun ones.
Yeah, but I think every convention's starting to do that just for the simple fact of they don't want to be left out or something. Because, I mean, that way no one gets offended, I guess.
Because getting woke is literally like the biggest FurCon pastime now.
What's the third one under that one?
They, them.
They, them. They means plural. They is more than
That's
one
my
person.
problem with
Them.
they, them. You're
That's
either
so
a
dumb.
he or a she or an it.
It's like, call me
Those
a
are your
they.
options.
It's like, oh, can you please call me a they? It's like, no, you're not a group. You're one person. The hell?
You are a he, she, or an it.
Yeah. No, and it is dehumanizing.
I think these people just don't know how grammar works.
No.
They don't
Besides,
know
I
how
think
to
isn't it like funny just if you try to be like a multi-person at the same time in one body?
Yeah, two
I mean,
spirit.
aren't people who have more than one persona like that?
I guess, but they don't actually take it seriously.
No. Oh,
Like,
oh.
like I have two characters, like my dragon and my orange dog, but I don't actually believe that I am two different genders. I mean, that's just silly.
Oh, there's one other thing too, as well. Some people were defacing business posters with socialist propaganda. Did you see any around?
That was, yeah,
Okay.
no, that's too far. That's when you should be arrested.
What is this commie?
Let's see. Wait, you organize with other workers and seize the means of production. That sounds like something a troll would say. Is this real?
I think the people basically were being unironic about this stuff.
And look, they even have the icon of the Antifa. What's his name?
Mascot, yeah, it's
Gritty?
Gritty.
Yeah. Come on, a troll
Like,
made this.
literally, I saw a lot of these people wearing, the they, them, or transgender ribbons, and then I saw them also having the Nazi furs bleep off ribbons, and most of them had at least 5 facial piercings and were toothpicks.
And probably had like purple hair, buzz cuts.
Yeah,
or some weird
there were some that had normal hair colors, but they were all toothpicks and multiple facial piercings.
Yeah.
And not well done facial piercings. They were like huge barbells or ridiculous ear rings and stuff.
Gauges,
It's like,
I got you.
it's just like, what? No thanks.
Well, that's what liberalism does to the brain.
Go ahead.
So does the amount of stuff, metal parts on your face, kind of indicate how low your IQ is?
Oh, that's a good question. Like for every piercing.
At this stage, they might as well have it lowered and lower the more piercings they have. Considering
Okay,
that
I think the record I saw was like 30. So.
Oh my god. Oh.
Okay.
I was just like, why?
If that's
a negative IQ at that point.
Yeah. In 15 years, they're gonna regret their decisions they made when they were younger. They'll be like, wow, I can't believe when I was in my 20s, I had 30 piercings on my face. What was wrong with me?
Oh, I don't have lips anymore because they fell off because I cut off all the blood with metal.
Oh, gross.
Oh,
But,
either way.
I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to know which one is real or not. Come on, like, people going for this commie shit, and then little do they know they're the ones getting purged and shit.
These ones are just probably trying to push this shit out, like the role playing idiots they really are on the street.
There are the communists who may wear a transgender ribbon or may wear the pronoun ribbon, but just kind of stick to the backgrounds.
Yeah.
And then there's the soy boys, which wear the transgender ribbons and demand you do stuff. Which mostly are the ones with piercings, are the ones who are like, I have different pronouns, you'll respect me.
Oh. That's pretty much it.
Who are the puppet masters then?
I don't know. I mean, they just basically loudmouth to basically, they think they run the show, but they don't. Oh, and
they all wear their own puppet master, which is why the strings are all tangled and they just look like useless flails.
Yeah.
Well,
when you saw these Nazi fur bleep off ribbons, did you ask anyone why they wore them or what the whole purpose of them was?
I didn't for the most part, but I did hear from someone who's working security that I got to chat with quite a bit. They were supposed to confiscate them and destroy them.
Oh, they should have done that. That's a good idea.
They were doing that, but the charity, which had Dio Tazdevil on it, as like their main worker, was passing them out.
Wait, whoa!
I also saw 3 different styles of the Nazi furs bleep off ribbon.
Wait, I did not know that Dio was part of this whole thing. I mean,
She was part of the charity. She was not an MFF staff. She was part of the charity.
Well, what does that mean exactly?
She's not on staff.
She basically volunteered to work for the charity at MFF.
So she can pass those ribbons around, right? The staff thing was
I
basically
think
just an
that's
attention
a
whore.
large percentage of what it was for.
Yeah, but essentially, her advertising that it was MFF staff on her Twitter was just an attention whore ploy.
Well, technically, she probably could have passed it off as actually being on MFF staff, but none of her stuff anywhere says, other than her social media, says that she was a staffer. I haven't looked through my MFF book to see who's on staff, but I'm fairly certain, given I only saw her at charity events, that she was on charity.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like propaganda.
Oh! Before we keep going, like, did anybody see? Like, there was everybody on the Twitter sphere was also obsessed with seeing the insane clown posse guy Violent
J. Yeah, Violent J was wearing a bombing frickin' fursuit head.
Yeah, I saw that. He looked pretty awesome.
Hand. He's fucking awesome.
And I saw actually his daughter made like a YouTube video of all the pictures she took at MFF, and it was actually very well done, and it looked pretty cool.
Well,
there was a lot of people I wanted to get like pictures with, but I didn't have the opportunity to for several reasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, now.
Yeah, such a big place, thousands of people. It's impossible to really find.
Yeah, the Hyatt, like, if you were trying to get photos in the Hyatt lobby, good luck, because there's like 6,000 people at once, all trying to go in every direction in the universe in there.
Oh my goodness!
People coming up escalators, people going down, people cramming around it, photo shoots, chaos.
Oh my! And we have Reformed Wolf joining us today. Hello.
What's up?
You sure came in late to crash the show once more.
Well, it's not my fault. You see, I was at a bank. I was in the moment of robbing said bank. What did this bank contain? It contained chicken tenders. And not just any chicken tenders, but the best chicken tenders prepared by the best of furries. And so, as soon as I loaded my gun up, I then proceeded to get in the car, get in a chase, and then run down here so that I can be on here with y'all. And the police are, by the way, waiting outside, so I'm going to jail after this.
All right.
Lovely story.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll try to keep it quick for you. You don't got to worry about anything.
Well, interestingly enough, your story is next.
So, I mean, we'll cut it up soon, but I just want to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a train wreck was Midwest Furfest this year?
What was that?
How much of a train wreck was Midwest Furfest this year?
There was... I'm not going to say it was a complete off-the-rails train wreck. There were some very rough spots, I'm not going to lie. But probably other than some spilled cargo off the train, I don't think many cars, if any, actually came off the tracks. So it wasn't like a wreck, but it wasn't pretty. Yeah,
I mean, we still had the pre-con ambulances because it was like people were partying way too hard.
Pre-con ambulances, pre-con fire, pre-con police.
Wait, there was a fire?
And
fire alarm
right as the con started.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think there was two fire alarms pulled at the Hilton, not at the Hyatt, at the Hilton.
Oh goodness! Of course there was. There always is.
There wasn't one pulled at my hotel, which I was happy about.
Yeah, good. Must have been freezing outside.
All right, let's read some live comments. Number 2. Let's see. A wild fox appears asks, "How was the dead dog dance?"
I didn't attend most of the raves just because I was fighting off this sinus infection I basically got. Like, day one of con, I got off the plane, I'm like, I'm getting sick.
But
So I was probably patient 0 for con cred, but oh well.
Yeah, but also, didn't you say at one point that there's like they just immediately pack up? Like, all right, guys, let's get out of here. We're packing up. The end of the day.
I know my roommate came back at like midnight, so they obviously packed up fairly early with DDD, with the Dead Dog Dance.
Okay, yeah.
Because he said he got back at midnight, and then I basically abandoned the room at like 4 o'clock in the morning because I had a flight to catch. And he's like, "Where'd you go? No one was here." I'm like, "You can check out. You're a grown adult."
Yeah. Toonie asks, why are fire alarms so common in cons? Smoke machines, most likely.
Smoke machines, people vaping, people smoking pot, people being dumb and just pulling the fire alarm handle.
Yeah, exactly.
Which most people don't realize. All they have to do is take a little light and they can see who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just to conclude this off, in its current state, would you actually, where are we gonna see MFF in the future heading? I mean, they're going to 12K in attendance. Are they going to, screw this up even more because of management?
I'm still going to say there's going to be 2.5% growth probably next year.
Mm-hmm.
I think next year is going to be really, really big. Like, there's going to be a humongous surge because it's the 20th anniversary of MFF.
So instead of maybe like 10,000, maybe like 12,000 or something like that.
Oh no! If it grew at 2%, it would be 12. I'm saying maybe.
That's what I said.
I'm going to set my bar. Well, no, it'd be a little bit less than that. I'm going to set the bar high, and I'm going to say 15,000 next year.
Really? That's a lot more than 2.5% growth.
Because it's the 20th anniversary. It's a once thing.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever a con has its 10th anniversary or 20th anniversary, they usually do stuff special, which means it's even more of a one-time thing. So everyone wants to go. Everyone goes. Everyone forces their way to the con.
Yeah, that was the same way with me with an anime convention, A-Con. It was his 25th year. Very huge thing. And so,
the attendance just shot up, skyrocketed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know I'm going to try to attend next year.
I can hear you now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm expecting there to be a absolutely massive growth.
It's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be huge, but it's gonna be a party.
They have to take over more of the convention center. I know that they're limited on budget and stuff, but they have to move stuff out of the Hyatt. It's growing too big for the Hyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the more people who attend, the more money they're going to get with registration. So obviously, they're going to have to use that budget to accommodate those extra people.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I consider that a wrap for Midwest Furfest 2018. Number 2. All right. The next story of the week concerns ourselves with a lot of furry happenings too. Still, did you guys see what happened as of very, very recently with the speech at the Video Game Awards by none other than Sonicfox?
Yep.
I didn't watch the speech. I saw him show up in fursuit, and I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, that's really brave, but that's also really dumb.
I mean, that's something I would do. I mean, why not? If
I probably would too. Yeah. Just because, why not?
Yeah, hell yeah, of course. Actually, Reformed Wolf here did a really good video about that.
Mm-hmm.
He gave his thoughts about his political interjections in his speech. Very interesting.
Well, it wasn't so much of a political interjection, more so that it was a social type of thing, because the main problem that I have with what was said, I mean, if he's not a Republican, or if he has something against them, I don't care. To each their own. let them be. That's their whole thing. It's a conversation where we live in a country, we live in a world where we're allowed to have differing of opinions and such, and we can just respect that. But the issue was being a person who is an idol and an icon in, especially very well respected in representation, which I disagree and wholeheartedly would promote that no one view themselves as representatives or look for representatives of a fandom of any sort. That this person's going out there being viewed as such, and he's going to say some comments that a lot of people that are fans of his are going to notice. And if he says the wrong thing that could slip up, it could cause a problem. And with the way he came off with this particular comment or at the speech that I pointed out, it could lead to the point, and I've been around this environment, where some people could end up killing themselves because you may have some that are from his side, his fandom, meaning that there are people that are his fans that follow him, but they just happen to be Republican. And
right. So let's just backtrack a little bit to say exactly what specifically was it that he said that causes this controversy.
Right. Yeah.
Let's backtrack to what the thing that he said in his own exact words that caused all of this contention to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So it was, I'm gay, black, a furry, so I guess everything a Republican hates, and the best esports player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
No, bad form.
That's just wrong. I mean, technically, I consider myself a Republican to some degree. I don't care what amount of melanin you have in your skin, as long as you're a good person.
That's the thing. Like a lot of, even the most of the Republicans could just care less about him being all those things.
Right.
It's like this is just a very, very misguided thing on his part as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's stuck in the 1970s.
Like, for lack of a better wording, he wants to shove his
politics and his
stuff
virtue signaling
into everyone's face.
Well, here's how I've heard it explained, and I can understand and sympathize where he's coming from on this. Is that he's saying that back then, which I don't know how old he is, but I'm going to take a guess. He's probably, to a degree, that he had been like somewhere within the 90s or something like that, where it wasn't necessarily that much of a popular thing to be gay at the moment compared to where we're at now. But go to where we are now and such. I mean, he's trying to basically say, back then I was bullied and such and all that kind of stuff, and now here I am. But that's the thing. You overcome that. Don't make that be like an identification or a story about you. I mean,
here it is.
Be you and just show that you are a happy individual and such. I mean, I'm not saying control what this guy's saying. I'm just saying be considerate and careful of how you bring about certain words in light of what other people say.
Yeah, here's the thing though. It's like at this stage, I just think furries and good PR is basically a mutually exclusive thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some news articles. I think he's 20.
Yeah, I mean all the games journalists and that are lapping this up because of his virtue signal right there, which was absolutely unneeded for.
Oh, completely.
Not to mention his jab at Republicans too, where he basically had it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally.
Like, oh well, it's a joke, but he wasn't really joking. Technically, he was, but he actually believes this, and so do a lot of people on the far left and SJWs. They actually think this to be true. So he's pandering to that kind of demographic.
Mm-hmm.
I think also he's just gloating and stuff. And then I guess being woke is like a way to get a lot of attention.
It does. Oh, and here's the interesting part though. Because of his gloating and his wokeness, he does not realize how big of a target he's put on his back.
I kind of feel that there's not going to be many people who are going to want to sponsor him or anything like that now, because he just shoved all kinds of politics onto himself and picked up a backpack that has a giant target on it or a bomb inside of it, and he's just going to be like, I'm going to wear this to the end of whatever happens.
Yeah.
I
mean, not everything has to be political, especially with gaming and stuff, but he's going to interject every single bit of what he is into that, including political stuff, and that just annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
I don't get it. Why do they don't forget the idea of getting woke, going broke kind of thing?
He doesn't. They're gonna double down on this and and just milk it all the way until they're broke. But Reform, you were about to say something?
Yeah, because here's what I found interesting that he said, and that what another person said. Though again, I don't know if he necessarily said this, but I do know a lot of his fans try to think this. Like, he was interviewed one time on ESPN, and I work in the news business, so I know how this whole thing works out. And so he was about to give a shout out to the LGBT and the furry community and such, as to who's gotten him this far within his career, and the guy takes the microphone away.
Yeah.
Wrapping up. He's trying to wrap up, basically. And so basically when it gets to Twitter, it's like, oh, they were ashamed. They didn't want to hear him say that he's part of the furry or the LGBT because they're ashamed of that. No, it's called, if you work in the news business, you know this, but no other common person knows it. That's why you have a bunch of conspiracy nuts out there trying to say, oh, they're trying to silence the truth. They're trying to silence Alex Jones. They're trying to silence Ron Paul. No, it's called we're on a frame during a broadcast. You have 3 or 4 minutes each time, and they got someone in your ear saying you need to rap. No exceptions. You go even over a little, you're fired. So unless that person wanted to lose his job, and he would cut him off for the sake of time. It's just Sonicfox's fault that he wasn't able to get to it in time. If he had said it sooner, they wouldn't have cut him off. But they want to take it to an extreme to try to say, oh, they're trying to silence it. But now that we got this, it's like, oh, now it's actually being, well, they changed their tone basically towards the media at this point.
Short and sweet, baby.
That's got to be how it's gone, and professional too, which he doesn't understand. Oh, speaking of big targets though, because he gloats that he's the best esports player in the world, now everybody wants to go and throw him a slice of humble pie. All the gamers.
Oh, the amount of people that want to just decimate him now are going to be so big. I mean, there's going to be entire groups that are going to come together just to take him down.
Yeah.
Oh, and guys, might I just read a live comment here from A Wild Fox Appears? He says, last I checked, being black, gay, furry, or Democrat had nothing to do with your competence at wielding a controller.
It's like, I mean, funnily enough, I just wanted to say, for him, I was expected to him to black gay gamers rise up.
No, it's so true. It doesn't matter. If you're a good gamer, then you're a good gamer. That's it.
Exactly.
Oh, and needless to say, now the internet drama mill is basically going to get on his case too. So that's going to be a fun show to watch.
Yeah, not to mention the one individual we all know of that decided that after this speech, they had to post an article that I had the opportunity of reading from
Dog
today.
patch.
Though technically they say this was from, according to it, it's from a guy named Tempe Okun was the article.
Not him.
I have no idea who that is, so you people apparently know a lot more than I do.
Yeah, he's kind of a washed up author who's basically bought into this whole, wokeness thing. So
yeah.
That's
so this article just Sonicfox, just one esports player in the future, but Furry is bright. But it talks.
Okay, I'll show this on the screen.
He talks about the basics, stuff you would expect. He won. Here's the video, and obviously furries are visible. They've been visible for a while, ever since the CNN, and pretty much way before that. So that's no shock.
Okay. He's on the right side of history. Let's stop there. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who says that is a freaking yeah.
But look what's the right one. But here's the right one that's right underneath it. It says, I'm black, I'm gay, and I'm a furry. So pretty much what we just read earlier. And here's what it said. It's easy to forget, but this isn't just a furry posting on social media. He's speaking to a crowd of hundreds to a globe audience of millions. That's the big time. Esports hasn't been around for a century like the rest of professional sports. We're not used to thinking of it as a major platform. Sonicfox is a public figure, a champion, a role model. I agree. He's also the exact sort of person, here's where it gets to the ideology, the fascists, bigots, and other primitive, uses the adjective there, primitive types are terrified of. I'm sorry, I'm not terrified of Sonicfox. If anything, I just want to give the guy a hug. I might actually be attracted to him. Wait a second, did I just say that?
Stop there for a minute. Oh
Primitive.
my God, what did this chat freaking turn into, dude?
Wait, what the?
Foxler, hey.
Okay, what the freak has this chat turned into now?
Oh, is he here?
Huzzah!
Oh, he'll say hi. Well, I think I just kind of wanted to wrap up. But let's just needless to say that I don't really want to give more attention to dog patch.
Never mind.
But and it's just it's trash article. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so but since we were kind of running for time now, we gotta cover the second furry drama mill story, which is the Lemonbrat ordeal.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one.
Yes.
Ooh, money laundering is fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah. $40,000, and rumor has it like Fox. Don't quote me on this or anything, but Fox's insiders say that Treble Vandoren, the guy who laundered the money, spent $40,000 to own Foxler at Denver.
It wouldn't surprise me that he basically channeled this money directly into the conventions, because what company can afford to just launch 4 conventions within a year?
Right.
That's another thing that I found very fishy too, about how much money Lemonbrat is actually making and how they didn't realize that up to $40,000 were being diverted without their knowledge. How does that even happen? And
because if someone's your financial manager, you trust they're going to take care of your finances.
Well, you would, but in this case, this person also created several false accounts and also diverted another $15,000 in fake checks. So, what the heck? No wonder they're having a lawsuit against this guy.
That's some shady stuff.
Very.
Yeah, they're like, where is all our money going? We should be making lots of money for making these fursuits, but we've barely made anything.
Yeah, and think about how much a fursuit costs. You know, $40,000.
Especially a Lemonbrat suit.
I mean, they can turn over quite a lot. Yeah.
Still, though, I mean, that's a good chunk of change that seemingly went missing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're busy making suits and not, paying attention to finances, trusting that you have this individual who's taking care of all your finances, and then one day you're like, I wonder why we don't have this much money, and you look into things and you're like, we're missing $40,000.
Yeah.
And now, because of all this, Treble was pretty much terminated from Lemonbrat. They walked away. I mean, we probably shouldn't direct the hate at Lemonbrat, but rather, And now this has happened. The cons he runs has decided to make a statement about this too, and they're all like, all the cons he runs, Golden State, Denver, Qualifer, Painted Desert, they all made copy-paste statements saying this.
Yeah, it's just like, this won't affect the convention at all. We're just handing it down to the spouse of this person.
Mm-hmm. And everything's going to be all right, guys. Nothing's going to be wrong, and the $40,000 is going to be put to good use. Am I right?
I also wonder, do they have proof that this guy 100% actually stole this money, or if
that's where the investigation is going on right now.
Yeah, that's what's really confusing about this. I mean, like, did he really steal the money, or did he just mess up somewhere?
That's a really big mess up. I mean, if you're a financial manager of a company like Lemonbrat.
Yeah, but you think did he think he was not going to get caught doing this over all these years? Like,
he might have got cocky eventually and was like,
I don't.
I'm doing this. I'll take another 3% or something, or I'll take another 4%. And that's when he got caught.
That's technically how he operates.
Yeah.
Well,
there's all kinds of ways they can cut corners. For instance, the financial manager can say, "Oh, such and such supplies are going to cost, $5,000. Meanwhile, they only cost $4,000." And then he takes the extra $1,000 for himself and writes himself a check. And so
basically,
things like that could be happening over the course of, God knows how long of a time.
Was it 2003 he was part of their financial manager, I think?
He's been with them for a while, I know. He's also
it's been
run a convention.
Yeah, very recently. He ran several.
Yeah, he did, yeah. He actually just stepped down, I believe, just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because of this.
Because this came up, he was basically removed as chairman of the conventions.
Yeah.
Removed, quote unquote. In actuality, he's like, "Hey, Bubbles, take over this for me, while I have to deal with this."
Yeah, he claims he resigned, but come on, that's what
he just gave it to his spouse.
Involved.
Okay,
it's more of a contingency plan.
That sounds like it, though.
I mean, if it actually comes out, I think the minimum sentence is 5 years.
I mean, this is being done in accordance to Chicago's laws, so that's kind of where we do need to look at. I mean, this is handled in the Cook County Court, and in the interest of those who wish to follow this lawsuit, I will be giving you an access to it. You can access it from the Cook County Clerk of Court, and it's built under a chancery case. The case number of this is 2018-CH-14309, and you can essentially put that in and see the progress. The court, they're going to set the court date to the 18th of March 2019. So do keep an eye on that date. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it should be entertaining.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
And it kind of also makes me wonder, what other kind of things like this are happening with other fursuit companies or even other conventions. I mean, I'm sure there's corruption in this fandom in other places that we just don't know about yet.
Yeah. It's always just run by these greedy types. But I think that's kind of that as a wrap, though. Admittedly, you don't know what Fox tried to say when he tried to crash on the stream. I want to say I'm gay, Asian, and furry. Everything SJWs hate.
Oh, no, he said he was trying to say something on voice, but it didn't work, and that we already changed the topic, so... Okay.
Not too late to that. Okay. But other than that, though, I think that's kind of a wrap for those stories. The next item on the docket is,
Why do you keep saying docket?
You're making me
because he's being formal.
Well, I am getting hungry from him being formal.
Well, now
I
this
think
next
you have more pressing matters than being hungry. But either way,
there is nothing more important than Hot Pockets.
All right.
Oh, maybe
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reject.
Huffington Post attacks beloved TV Christmas special. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer gets instantly mocked.
Yes, Huffington Post gets what they deserve.
Well, this is not just the Huffington Post. This has been going on for the past month or so, because SJWs like to suck the fun out of literally everything, even the most wholesome family film, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
Oh,
and I didn't know how to... Yeah.
It's probably just some...
misogynistic, racist, and supporting bullying.
I don't know how the frick they missed the mark on that by a mile.
Well, that's what they're saying. They said that, there are certain scenes that promotes that men, their roles in society are they're adhering to certain gender roles. I guess
boo-hoo.
you see that. Yeah, but even better, the scene with, when Rudolph was not allowed to play in the reindeer games, they're like, oh, it promotes bullying because the coach was being mean to him. Even though we all know that Rudolph totally overcame that obstacle and became Santa's favorite reindeer. Plus, it's also a freaking story. It's not even real. Oh, it promotes bullying and gender roles, and it's sexist.
Uh-huh.
And that's what they're saying, because in the Me Too era, this family film is no longer wholesome because it promotes misogynistic patriarchy.
And not to mention too, they're just trying to shit on our beloved traditions.
Yes, absolutely.
But here's the other thing you got to ask, because it says this is getting mocked, and here's the tweets. Are any of them from the left? These particular ones?
No, I think they're basically just saying, "Oh, we gotta, blah blah blah." This because Rudolph is racist. Rudolph is this.
Yeah, it's problematic.
I think this is more of like
something else to bitch about.
Yeah,
this is just more in like a pandering or.
I think they want to ruin Christmas.
Oh,
so
do.
basically, what you're saying that the Huffington Post is being run by the Grinch.
You could say that.
Yes.
Someone should draw art of the Grinch as an SJW.
I mean,
there you go.
But I mean, now, is it really surprising to any of you guys though that a film from the 1960s is being called all these terrible things because it's wholesome and it's family friendly and it promotes, a family dynamic?
Guys just don't like.
They just don't like these values as well, because they're too finger for what they love. Also, the voice actor in Rudolph and Reindeer has come against this criticism by the Huffington Post as well.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, actually, it wouldn't surprise me because it was because I've heard of voices like Naruto and all that stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that this was a woman because it was a very young child character for Rudolph. Mm-hmm. So that's still kind of shocked.
But this is a story about perseverance, overcoming bullying and whatnot.
Exactly.
And they're saying it promotes it. Oh,
I think
it's for our kids. It promotes bullying.
I think the Huffington Post just basically stopped. They were too sensitive to continue onward. This must be the message.
They watched the first 10 minutes of the video and stopped. They watched the first 10% of the video and were like, we can't take anymore. This is about bullying. Ah.
Let's just say they like to promote laziness.
Yeah. Also, the whole sexist thing comes into play too, because they talk about that quite a bit when it comes to this. If you realize the male characters tend to be stronger, more assertive, and the females tend to be in the background a bit more. But that's just how it was in the 60s, and okay, it didn't hinder the story.
What's interesting?
Bad.
Sexist, huh? Sexist. Who played a male role in this, which back then would have been considered kind of a little off balance? They got a female to play the role, and did she view the whole thing as sexist? Was anyone seeing this thing as sexist?
No.
I mean, exactly.
Rational people don't think this is a sexist, racist film. None of us think that because we're not retarded. But there are people out there who think that, and it's crazy.
But here they are. That's the problem cause.
And they're writing articles for the Huffington Post. Oh, it's sexist misogyny.
Oh, by the way, while we're still here, I'm gonna share some fun posts that show how much they want to ruin Christmas and how much these people hate it.
Oh,
yeah, goody, right? Here you go.
I mean, to be fair, they've been trying to make you say Happy Holidays forever.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I just saw this one on my feed today. Principal Bance Candy Cane says the J shape stands for Jesus.
It's in the name what it's shaped as. How stupid are you? Why? Why? Why?
Wow.
If anything, you could try to make some connection to Jesus by saying a cane, like a shepherd cane, but you ain't gonna get Jesus out of it.
Sheesh.
I mean, if the school doesn't want them, at least we'll take them for ourselves. I mean, waste not, want not.
Well, here's the thing. I'm glad at least that they're doing that because I won't accept candy canes unless it's Starburst. or any of the other candy ones. But if it's peppermint, get that out of my face.
Okay, so and now here's my question: why is a principal banning candy canes because he thinks it might represent Jesus? What
It's
does he
woke.
hate Jesus?
His woke.
Because he's woke
dumb.
and thinks that his authority is like right. Therefore, he's like,
Whoa.
"Oh, it's separation of church and state, guys. I'm doing a good job."
That's the problem.
I have no comment on this, considering the fact that I don't believe that mess.
Okay. Just the fact that a principal would even try to do this and make like that's his argument. Oh, it's because it represents Jesus. It's a freaking candy cane. Get over yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing in
And
it
let
about
them eat candy canes.
exactly.
I
Let them
think
eat candy canes.
Like 15 minutes of fame.
Ah,
No, wait. Here's the real story. Okay, I'm just now getting this, so let me first put up my Alex Jones impersonation. Okay, so concerning the story here, we found some secret information. Let me get my notes here. Now, when it came to the candy canes, they found out that children have been putting these up their buttholes, and a bunch of sodomites are being raised in this, so the teacher decided to get rid of these things. That's the real story that the media won't tell you about, and they're going to make it all about this. It's really that they've been putting candy canes up their rectums and be getting stanky doo-doo canes.
also, they're made of fluoride.
God damn, RC, that made me hurt when you said that. For real.
Hey, no problem.
It's what it is. It is what it is.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. So a few more live comments. 2D6 says, "Are all canes Jesus now?"
No.
That was I saw one of the Twitter comments. Elderly people are banned now because their canes stand for Jesus. I saw that as one of the Twitter posts on that news link, and I was like, wow.
Oh my.
Oh no. Oh no. I don't know what we're gonna do when we get to that age, fellas.
Speak for yourself. I'm going to use rockets.
Nice.
Damn.
Sparky says, Trump voice. You're fired. Get the hell out.
You're fired. Get the hell out. You're fired. I'm Trump. I am the world's largest talking orange.
Well. All right. I think that's kind of a wrap, but just to close, I mean, this Christmas thing is a tradition that you just have to keep alive. Doesn't matter how much they try to, try to call it all these bad names. Traditions just can't go. And they were being preserved.
Yes. The trees, the food.
Yeah.
All right.
It stands for something. We're gonna move to the last item.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure how long you want to go for. We don't have too much time.
Don't worry. We can go a little over, considering that we've had a lot on the table. So yeah.
All right.
All right. One last item. Zach Vegan claims discrimination in landmark case.
Well, what?
So.
No, seriously, is this real?
Okay,
Yes.
first of all, I don't speak English.
Discriminating on my veganism.
Yeah.
This is real.
Oh my gosh. This is mayonnaise a gender?
No, they want to make
actually.
veganism a religion. It's what it is.
And if you really think about it, the way that vegans act,
This is the worst religion since Scientology.
like they actually, it is a religion to these people. Like it really is, like an ethical set of values that they think is the way. Like they really do act like it's a religion sometimes.
Did you say the way, my brother?
Yes, veganism is the way.
There you go.
Just let the meme die. God damn it.
Never.
I'm kind of sad that one didn't show up on the rewind.
All right, so we have A tribunal is to be asked whether to decide veganism is a philosophical belief akin to religion in a landmark legal action.
Well,
Because
shall we
some
basically
guy-
preach about the gospel of veganism now?
The gospel of veganism.
Next
What
thing
the
you know, you're gonna have.
bonkers?
Praise the carrots. Praise the lettuce.
I'll only allow you door-to-door veganists to come to my house if you can promise to at least bring some of that vegan food, because I don't want to be listening to you while being starving.
Honestly, if I saw a vegan and I knew they were a vegan coming up to my house, I would answer the door with like a package of bacon that I had just warmed in the microwave in my hand, slowly chewing on it.
Hell, I'd answer the door with a freaking steak in my hands.
I know.
Yeah,
Like,
I just laugh
I'm
at
guessing
him.
being a vegan is quite of a sad
I'd have to
existence.
eat it raw in front of them. I'd eat the freaking steak in front of them just to piss them off.
Oh, that reminds me. If we're going all in on the vegan religion, who shall be the what's going to be the sacred icon of the vegan religion?
The
Celery.
sexy vegan
Tail.
messiah. Yep. He's a real guy. The sexy vegan, the vegan messiah, who is on Dr. Phil.
He's made. Oh no, he's made of soy.
Yeah, well, whatever. But now this guy was actually on Dr. Phil, and he called himself the sexy vegan. He legally changed his name to that, and he has tattoos. He has tattoos on his face that say "sexy vegan," and he calls himself the vegan messiah. So yes, this actually is a religion to some people. And
Is he raised?
It's kind of like the girl in Florida who was arrested on meth charges, who changed her name to Crystal Methany.
Yeah, right. That's their prophet. That is their sacred prophet.
What
But
kind of miracles would he do?
it's just so
Yeah.
crazy because, like, oh my goodness.
I'm looking at the Dr. Phil thing right now, and this guy's like,
sexy vegan. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a
apparently
YouTuber.
security had to like escort him out, and he tried like starting a riot in there.
Yeah, he did.
that stuff is super cringy. He looks super cringy.
Jesus, he's trying to do a Michael Jackson dance number in this whole thing.
But most vegans, most vegans who try to make it into the headlines are the ultra cringe. So
Now,
this guy certainly fits it.
Yeah, like I get where they're coming from. You know, we don't want to hurt animals. Whatever. Okay, but they think they're superior to like vegetarians and superior morally to everyone who uses anything with animal products in them. A little weird.
Yeah. Also,
I think the worst vegan would be the one like trying to make their pets be vegan.
oh no.
yeah, that
not
doesn't
the
work.
vegan. You know something?
Unfortunately, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have expected the vegan religion to go down there and bow down to the nearest animal in their, ritual of praise and worship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor. Just reminds me of
Praise
that.
be the squirrel.
The vegan religion, instead of sacrificing animals like the satanic religion, they sacrifice plants.
Yes,
There you go.
they
Because
sacrifice
plants have
cherries.
feelings. They have feelings. Plants do.
Yeah. But when it comes to this article specifically, this guy was fired from his job, and he claims that he wants to make a new law to protect vegans against religious discrimination.
Oh god.
That's that's what he's arguing for.
If he raised like a complaint at his job every time someone bought something that was not vegan approved by him, or he was a cook or something at a place that wasn't vegan, okay, you deserve to be fired. You do not fit into that job description.
No, and this is also the same guy who wore an anonymous mask at a protest, supporting animal rights and stuff. Now, look, I'm all for animal rights, but the way that he goes about it is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, you can't force your ideals on people like this. It's absolutely crazy, and to try to make a law that makes a diet a religion, it's a little crazy. I think.
Here's something I'm going to show you. There's more in this article though. Look at
Oh
this.
yeah.
What the heck is this?
I don't
Oh,
know.
hello.
Yeah, I mean they had a little a supporting mascot next to him.
Yeah, so
I want to steal that suit just so I can burn it. That looks like trash.
Well,
It's
that's
a
the guy who
mascot
was.
thing.
Yeah, that's the guy who
He
was
looks
fired,
trash.
standing next to this guy who's obviously in a mascot costume.
That's a
it would've
furry.
been-
That's a fursona. That's
I
a
just feel-
fox
I
that was
mean-
made by a mascot company. Why can't people get like legitimate, good makers to make these things?
They don't
Because they cost
understand.
too much.
Professional sports are trying to do that, but it's a very slow process.
Yeah.
At the end of
Oh
the
yeah,
day, though.
and look at this. The religion of belief. Oh.
Yeah, it's. I'll read it again. I'll pop this up again. Hang on a sec. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, religion of belief
So
characteristics. protected by
religion or
any-
belief is one of 9 protected characteristics covered by the Equality Act of 2010. So none of these have anything to do with your diet.
Yep.
Nothing.
Age,
None of them.
disability, gender,
Age,
assignment, marriage,
marriage,
pregnancy, race, sex, sexual orientation.
Yeah. Whatever you choose to put in your mouth has nothing to do with any of that. So why do these people want to be recognized as a formal religion?
All right, here's the thing I'm going to highlight. Somebody feel free to read this.
The reason why is because they can make money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
True.
To qualify as a philosophical belief, veganism must be genuinely held, be a belief as to a weighty and substantial aspect of human life and behavior, attain to a certain level of cogency, seriousness, cohesion, and importance, be worthy of respect in a democratic society, not be incompatible with human dignity, and not conflict with the fundamental rights of others, be a belief, not opinion or viewpoint based on the present state of information available.
I'm sorry, this is just so silly. The fact that it's a diet, yeah, okay, I get you have your moral obligations and you want to help the animals and stuff, but by forcing your diet on other people, it's not going to really make a big change.
No.
It's just a very silly thing.
Also, green text, veganism, green text, worthy of respect.
Ugh.
Okay.
Well, then I think that's kind of a little bit of a wrapping up, though. A few little live comments. Chris Lava says, I don't think I'd be a good vegan. I think hunting veggies would be boring.
Yeah.
Tooney says, I usually feed veggies to my worms.
Oh. He also says, even soy is bad for my compost.
Mm-hmm. There is that.
Yeah. But other than that, though, I think it's high time we gave this all kind of a little closing statement. Like, who'd like to start with a little closing statement for this week's things and events on the news cycle?
I have just committed fandom suicide. I am now dead.
Oh, God, no.
There's a level of face desk that this week's news wanted me to give, but I couldn't give it because I couldn't find a desk strong enough to take that much face desk.
All right, Avira got something?
Yeah, just wanted to say thanks everyone for showing up. Hope you had an awesome time as we did. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Furry Raiders channel.
Oh, God, that's not... Now you're just becoming mean again, except with...
I don't know.
Real quick, can I plug my channel real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, you can do that.
YouTube.com/BlackLimeade. I make gameplay videos.
That's fun. So, you two that's left, perform any little closing statements? I know you got this. Is
Well, the world may be cruel, but at least we still live on.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of again a little bit of a wrap for the week. I mean, you can always find. Yeah, go on.
Yes. Just want to say before he says the whole closing out thing and ending the stream that the cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. The cake is.
I think he's basically gotten himself a vegan one.
Yeah, it looks like Gladys got him. Oof.
I mean, animal cake's vegan. Oh god, I had a self-awareness lapse. Oh, just so well, whatever, right? Anyway, I think that's pretty much it, though. This is us signing off. See you next time. Cheers.
Farewell.
Bye.
Yay.
Like always, I manage to scrape myself every time I